Welcome to WorldWire. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The Supreme Court stands as the final authority in American law, a symbol of justice and the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution. Its marble columns and storied halls have witnessed some of the most consequential decisions in the nation's history, decisions that have shaped the very fabric of American society. From landmark civil rights rulings to pivotal moments in presidential power, the court's influence is felt in every corner of the country. Each decision handed down by the justices reverberates far beyond the courtroom, shaping the nation for generations and setting precedents that guide future cases. The weight of their rulings can change lives, alter the course of history, and define the limits of power for individuals and institutions alike. This week, the court delivered a decisive blow to former President Donald J. Trump, refusing to hear his appeal in the high-profile E. Jean Carroll case. The case, which has drawn national attention, centers on allegations of sexual abuse and defamation, serious charges that have been closely watched by both legal experts and the public. By declining to intervene, the justices allowed the lower court's verdict to stand, holding Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation. This decision sends a clear message. The highest court in the land will not shield even the most prominent figures from the consequences of the judicial process. This is more than a legal footnote. It's a critical moment of accountability for a former president. The news rippled across the country, sparking conversations about justice, power, and the rule of law. For many, it represents a turning point in the ongoing debate over whether those in positions of authority can be held to the same standards as ordinary citizens. Legal analysts and commentators have weighed in, noting the significance of the court's refusal to take up the case. It underscores the importance of the lower courts and affirms the integrity of the judicial process that led to this outcome. The court's refusal to act is a powerful endorsement of the judicial process that unfolded below, reinforcing the idea that justice is not reserved for the privileged few, but is accessible to all who seek it. For Trump, it's a significant defeat, a stark reminder that even former presidents are not immune from legal consequences. The decision may have lasting implications for his public image and future legal battles. For Carroll, the end of a long quest for vindication. After years of legal struggle and public scrutiny, she stands as a symbol of perseverance and the possibility of justice, no matter how powerful the opponent. For the public, it's a reminder that even the most powerful are not above the law. The Supreme Court's unyielding stance reaffirms a foundational principle of American democracy. Accountability, regardless of status or influence, remains at the heart of the nation's legal system. At the heart of this unfolding drama are two starkly different figures: Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, a man known for his brash persona, relentless self-promotion, and polarizing leadership style. Trump, a real estate mogul turned reality TV star, rose to the highest office in the land, commanding attention with every word and tweet. His presence in American politics has been nothing short of seismic, shaping public discourse and dividing opinion across the nation. Opposite him stands E. Jean Carroll, a respected writer, journalist, and longtime advice columnist. Carroll built her career on helping others navigate personal challenges, earning a reputation for wit, candor, and resilience. Her voice, both in print and in person, has inspired countless readers to speak their truth and stand up for themselves. In 2019, Carroll made headlines when she accused Trump of sexually assaulting her in a department store dressing room in the 1990s. By coming forward, she stepped into the national spotlight, risking her privacy and reputation. Her story resonated with the Me Too movement, which had already begun to reshape conversations about power, consent, and accountability in America. Carroll's decision to speak out was not just personal, it became a rallying point for survivors everywhere. Trump responded with aggressive denials, dismissing Carroll's allegations as fiction and launching personal attacks against her character. He claimed the accusations were politically motivated, part of a broader effort to undermine his presidency. His public statements, often delivered via social media or at rallies, fueled a media firestorm and deepened the divide between his supporters and critics. Despite the backlash and the intense scrutiny from both the public and the press, Carroll remained undeterred. She pursued her case through the courts, seeking not only personal vindication but also a measure of justice for others who felt silenced. The legal battle was long and arduous, marked by delays, appeals, and relentless media attention. Yet Carroll's determination never wavered. Her resolve became a powerful symbol of the fight for accountability in the face of overwhelming odds. Carol's courage inspired others to come forward with their own stories, reinforcing the idea that no one, not even a former president, is above the law. The case quickly grew beyond the individuals involved, becoming a proxy for a much larger struggle, one that asked whether truth and justice could truly prevail against wealth, fame, and power. It forced the nation to confront uncomfortable questions about who gets to be believed and what it takes to hold the powerful accountable. In the end, Carol's persistence forced a reckoning in the courts, sending a message that even the most powerful must answer to the law. Her journey stands as a testament to the enduring strength of those who refuse to be silenced, and to the ongoing fight for justice in America. Carol's legal journey was anything but simple. It spanned several years, involved multiple high-profile trials, and demanded extraordinary resilience. From the moment she first stepped forward with her allegations, Carol faced intense public scrutiny and legal hurdles. Each court appearance was a reminder of the stakes, not just for her, but for countless others watching. In May 2023, after weeks of emotional testimony and heated arguments, a Manhattan jury found Donald Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation. The verdict was historic, awarding Carol $5 million in damages. For many, it was a powerful affirmation that even the most influential figures could be held accountable in a court of law. But Carol's fight didn't end there. In January 2024, a second trial zeroed in on Trump's earlier defamatory statements. This time the jury's decision was even more staggering. An $83.3 million judgment in Carol's favor. The scale of the award sent shockwaves through the legal and political worlds. These verdicts marked a turning point in American legal history. For the first time, a former president was held legally responsible for sexual assault. The news dominated headlines, and Carol's courage inspired survivors everywhere to speak out. Trump's legal team quickly moved to appeal, insisting the trials were unfair and biased. They argued that the process was tainted by media attention and political motivations, hoping to overturn the verdicts and clear Trump's name. Yet federal appeals courts reviewed the cases and ultimately upheld both verdicts. The judges called the damages reasonable, reinforcing the message that the law applies to everyone, regardless of status or power. With each ruling, Trump found himself with fewer and fewer legal options. The court's decisions brought him closer to exhausting every possible avenue of appeal. Now, the Supreme Court stands as his last, desperate hope, a final chance to challenge the judgments and rewrite the outcome of this extraordinary legal battle. Trump's lawyers argued the trials were unfair, blaming Judge Kaplan for allowing prejudicial evidence. They objected to testimony from other women and the infamous Access Hollywood tape, claiming these painted Trump as a serial offender rather than focusing on Carol's specific allegations. The defense insisted there was no physical evidence or eyewitnesses, and that Carol's decades-old claim should never have gone to trial. They argued the inclusion of inflammatory material made a fair verdict impossible. Ultimately, they claimed only the Supreme Court could correct what they called a miscarriage of justice. But the court was unmoved. On November 13, 2025, the Supreme Court denied Trump's appeal, without comment or dissent, bringing a quiet but definitive end to his efforts. This decision ended Trump's legal challenge to the $5 million verdict, fully affirming the lower court's decisions and leaving no further avenue for appeal. The jury's finding that Trump is liable for sexual abuse and defamation is now settled law, with no higher court left to overturn it. The court's refusal to intervene validated the entire judicial process, reinforcing the legitimacy of the outcome. For Trump, it's a legal dead end. For Carol, it's final vindication and a moment of closure. While Trump's team continues to fight the separate $83.3 million award, this particular chapter is now officially closed. The Supreme Court's silence spoke volumes, reminding us that not every case, no matter how high profile, merits its review. Reaction was swift and polarized. Trump's camp decried the decision as political persecution, vowing to keep fighting and framing the loss as an attack on his movement. This narrative of victimhood has long fueled his base. Carol's attorney, Roberta Kaplan, called it a victory for the rule of law, emphasizing that no one is above accountability. Carol herself stayed out of the spotlight, letting the verdict speak for itself. Her supporters celebrated the decision as a milestone for survivors of sexual assault. The Supreme Court's refusal to intervene was seen as the ultimate validation of Carol's courage. The Carroll case is a powerful affirmation that no one is above the law, not even a former president. The Supreme Court's decision reinforces the legitimacy of the jury system and the courts. Ordinary citizens, not political actors, weighed the evidence and delivered the verdict. Carroll's perseverance offers hope to other survivors, showing that justice is possible even decades later. The case's legacy will resonate in the Me Too movement and beyond. While political divisions remain, the legal question is settled. The judiciary has proven itself a vital pillar of democracy, restoring some faith in the system.